In custom mode, we can do the impossible, like combining two classes. So I merged the Balladin with the Roundrel. But is there anything that will combo across the classes? Or are we now just a tanky soldier goblin cosplaying as a sneaky rogue? So we are a Balladrel or a Roundadin or whatever combo you would prefer. Or if we instead take the first part of each word, we're a ball around, a round ball. What a revolutionary concept. We have Evolution, we have some Spinfection, we have crits and Spiness, which this guy really should not have. We have debuffs on crit, and we have some extra crits, but this one is a bit spicy. We have 2 more crits, but they will send the orb just out the map. I'm certain that will just never go horribly wrong. Also gambling, I have literally never invested with this guy. So this is another way to make this harder, just have all my money. I have nothing to spend. Peglin will hate me. Come rolling up to his shop with just nothing. He can't scam me out of rocks or terror balls or anything. And I have mostly rounder balls anyway. We have the nice poison balls. This is going to be very strong in the beginning, because I started with all these million things, but if I can't find more rounder things, it shouldn't scale. So I'm stuck with basically the damage I have now. I don't really know how this is going to work. It's a fun experiment. And also Spiness, which this guy really should not have. The least finessey agile goblin boy of them all has somehow magically stolen the Roundrel playstyle. There must be a reason why this is not normally allowed. Like, you can get any goblin boy and just take all the loot that you would like from another one. So if you were to combine 2 classes initially, which 2 would you pick and why? We could also do all 4 in some kind of absolutely magically insane approach to Peglin. It should be just incredibly broken though. Like, this is already very, very strong. We can even target the guy in the back. That Balladin should never be allowed to have those kind of tricks. Like, we're just a big beefy soldier boy. And I read that relic that gives me more crits but send them out the map as the consolation prize, which is the relic you get if you cheat in everything else. You have nothing left to get. But being just a tiny goblin, of course I can't read. There's no brain in this helmet. But it's also not necessary when we have all these cool Roundrel tricks. We can just spinfect everyone and rob them blind, get all the money back that I invested with gambling, which we then use to build something incredible that is very, very illegal in normal Peglin. The big question though is, will anything of this actually synergize? Because of course the Balladin does not have debuffs. I did also start with, you see the relic of a goblin with a dice for his face. That is the actual Roundrel's face that we are using. So I am also applying random debuffs with every hit like the Roundrel would. But is there anything in the Balladin deck that works off that? Will I find any relics that increases the stacks, or will I find anything to gain evolution from the stacks I apply, for example? I might already have that relic. And I have some regular Roundrel combos where I gain a crit chance based on the evolution I have, so I will crit more, which will apply debuffs with another relic. And we're also generating Spiness for bigger crits, and crits also generally give more debuffs in the form of Spinfection, Blind, the crit magic thing, all that kind of cool, amazing stuff that we now are using through the power of cheating. What I don't have is any actual normal Balladin stuff, so I start with Bulwark shields based on the number of balls in my deck. But I have nothing else that will generate me a single Bulwark ever in this entire run. On the plus side, we can still find those things, so I'm going to look for things that would combo across the classes. I think that's unlikely. I'm sure the game is not designed that way. But we can at least very much confuse this mole man who thought he was safe behind this tree where I would just be the regular soldier. I throw my swords and my shields, but no, I'm not bringing any of those. I'm bringing poison stacks and roots, so he can't move. He has not moved once in this fight. I went on Cruciball 14 to make this a little bit more challenging, but I think I have just stacked too many things and it's too broken, so we need to do that better next time. Boss relic, we could reverse the gravity, that might ruin everything. So for science, will an upside down Balladin pretending to be a Roundrel make it very far, or is he dead on arrival in the castle? It's looking a bit spicy with the dodge shortcut instantly because we seem to be just flying out the bottom of the map faster with the reverse gravity. So this could be a disaster. But damage-wise, it's still insanely strong. So the lack of scaling doesn't really seem to matter. We just have way more damage than we ever need. So if you know a way to balance this and go with a reasonable Cruciball level and relics and balls, I can do that better next time with another combination of classes, and it will be perfectly balanced with no flaws or errors whatsoever. Except that's never happening. There will always be a million flaws when you do mad goblin science. And now we did find some things that combo, but they are not Balladin things. We have the relic where for each crit I will pierce another dude, and because I'm applying debuffs, we're also applying transparency, so we can now reliably pierce many brick slimes and poison them all, which is kinda cool. But that's more of a just illegal goblin hacks than anything else. We're finding the relics available to all classes, and we're combining them with the Roundrel relics that we should not have. And we can see what we can do about Mr. Wallface. This is Mr. Wallhand, not Mr. Wallface. The son of the bigger boss in the castle, maybe. But we're doing way more damage than I normally do, which is not surprising with the massive stack of sheeted in relics on the left side. And we are blasting this guy out of the wall before he can even get anywhere close. I didn't look at this until now, but we do actually have a note in the bottom left with the 52 cash money that Peglin owes me. So we have him in a contract, he can't escape. Except I might never see him again, and then it's null and void as always. More refreshes, definitely more good. We already have refreshes activate nearby pegs, and we can use that to hit more crits, so just hit more pegs for no reason. We don't gain anything from hitting more pegs as far as I'm aware. But we get more debuffs from crits and we get spin S from that kind of stuff, so it's still good. It's also a nice synergy. Like just hitting more pegs will generally synergize with something. But this is not really a very planned approach, and the damage still incredible. We one-tap Mr. Big Shungus in the back. His healer comes out and there's nothing to heal. Good timing, my dude. And we will also slice him in half in one very precise stab, Roundrel style. Invest in some of the balls. I am expecting things to get harder from here on out. Healing, we don't need that, we have Volution. I'm playing full rogue today. Healing is not allowed, that's for magical nerds. I don't have any of that stuff going on. Popping more pegs here, also nice getting the bombs. We can maybe clear out, but we're never gonna clear out his 2 packed lunches that he's going to eat. But we have mostly orbs that hits whatever we want. We don't have to care about the dude in front, except for specifically this one ball that I still used. Good choices today. Are they ever good choices? I don't know, I haven't kept track. Maybe someone has the stats on that. And we do have the duplication station, so every 4th shot is now a magical prophecy of a ball, where we will have one single multi-ball doing double the damage. And that really does add up quickly. I'm also getting very lucky with debuffs. We're getting more of the extra crit damage. I also need to look up which balls are available for which class, because that crits a bolus, is that a Balladin thing? If it's not, then we are finding things that I should not find normally. And because multi-ball was very wild with just the 1, we take the chains for 3. And with that I'm also abandoning all responsibility for my aiming. It's now 100% on the chains. And the single brain cell organism that shows the chains. While we one-tap this boss with our very powerful deck, it might not even be a one-tap, but I'm thinking what other goblin boys would actually combine somehow. We could get the Assemble from the Spinventor, and everyone could use that. But else the Spinventor will really only set us up with more damage for unique balls, and that doesn't really do anything for synergy. So the class abilities may be completely irrelevant. It's more about the specific balls and relics. And for that, if we want to find anything that combines across classes, we will have to do some actual research and thinking, and not just fire up the blender, slap 2 goblins in it, and see what happens. I am basically immortal. Nothing can touch me. We can get the oboe as well from the goblin band. And Peglin, what do you have? We can remove a ball, see if that makes it harder. I will have a bit less evolution. And we can buy... Is there anything here that would matter? More crits, sure. Reload, refresh. And a magical chess piece, which gives me bulwark equal to the self-damage ideal. And I am 100% incapable of self-damage unless I find a way to throw my own head into the wall, or the flames, or that kind of stuff. So this experiment has produced not a cool synergizing double goblin boy with mad abilities, it's more of a cosplayer. We're just a Balladin pretending to be a Roundrel, nuking that guy's face off, and then we have the bully ball for self-damage if we wanted that. Is that crit relic available to everyone? I'm assuming that it is, but I'm also thinking the Balladin is more about the circle, so regular damage, not the crit damage. So maybe he does not normally have anything crit related. So the details here is really in the setup. We need to find the perfect setup from the beginning because we are not finding anything else later. On the plus side for this level, the Cauldron Bubble, absolutely incredible. I'm very glad I stole that from the Roundrel. We can just delete all these dudes in one hit, which leaves the poison to seep into the ground and we ruin this entire world. Nice. Not the most environmentally friendly, this Roundrel dude, but it's very nice to have someone else to blame. If you have any suggestions on how to set up a Roundrel Balladin combo build, let me know and I will try it. I'm also thinking of just reversing this, so we could play the Roundrel with Balladin stuff, but then we would still have the same problem where we have shields and stuff, but it doesn't really work with anything the Roundrel does. So if we don't have combos, maybe we have complementary builds, because having shields and Volution, for example, clearly very strong. You will be able to survive so many things that would be completely illegal to survive normally. I'm also not really seeing any downsides to this. There should be more of a downside if things don't synergize. But here is just a bunch of different things with no interaction whatsoever, but they just do their own thing. And it's not a problem that we don't have shields, for example, because we don't need them when we avoid things with Volution anyway. We have the crit stacks to do more damage, and we have the debuffs just carrying a lot of the damage. So this setup didn't really combo anything across classes, but the concept is interesting. So what would make this work? What builds would actually benefit from the gear of 2 or more classes? Let me know and I will gladly put more goblins through the blender. For science, of course. This boss is normally arguably the hardest one, but when you sheet in all the gear in the universe, of course it's going to be easy. Like I could have figured that out a little bit earlier, maybe. But we did apply 375 stacks of Spinfection on a class that does not have that mechanic at all ever. So if you enjoyed this experiment, how about another one where I try to beat Peglin without firing a single attack ball ever? Thank you for watching.